Well, then we should focus and we move into what is happening in the APC. Yesterday, President Muhammadu Buhari met with governors of the APC, and when he did that, before he left Abuja for Spain, President Buhari, we understand, recommended that such a person that will fly the party flag must be one that will be widely acceptable to Nigerians in every part of the country, as well as understands the values of the APC. But there are fears of the consensus option and what could in turn look like an imposition. Well, in all of this, the statement of the president is very clear. He has said that he wants someone who is capable, not only capable, he's also looking at a situation where the person will be someone that will get the votes of Nigerians. And he says here that the objective must be the victory of the party, and the choice of candidate must be someone who will give the Nigerian masses a sense of victory and confidence even before the elections. It says in keeping with the established internal politics of the party, and as we approach the convention in a few days, therefore we should solicit the reciprocity and support of the governors and other stakeholders in picking my successor who will fly the flag of our party for election into the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2023. What does this mean? I'm being joined by Honorable Adamu Aliyu, a former minority leader in the House of Representatives and the chieftain of the APC. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Nigeria.
It does look, one thing is very clear. The President says there is a need, he is wishing for and soliciting for reciprocity and support of the governors and other stakeholders for him to pick a successor. So it does look like we might be seeing a situation where the president's preferred candidate or preferred person will be the candidate, is it?
Well, I assure you that there is not going to be any imposition. So it's not going to be president nominating a candidate for the party. No, it's going to be a Nigerian candidate, actually. You know, he said it there. So our party is going to look at who will be the best for Nigerians. We're not looking at northern or southern candidate now. We're looking for a candidate for this country, for all of us. So, and the president has not in any way said that he wants to impose a candidate for the party.
But what he said is very clear. Allow me, I plead with you, allow me to pick my successor.
Okay.
So in whatever sense, out of the 15 to 18 people that have bought forms, invariably it means that, guys, you may have bought forms, but my choice still will override everyone's choice.
That will probably be his wish, and that will probably what he meant. But let me give you an example. During the last convention of the party, choosing the leadership of the party, the president spoke in the same manner, that the governors should go and fill in the vacancies left after he recommended others. But he didn't go that way. You know, so still the party decided what happens. So even now, I assure you, it's going to be transparent. There is not going to be imposition, and the winner will carry the day. Absolutely.
I mean, how it's not too much of a news to people that there are delegates and there is a super delegate. There is one super delegate, which is the president. And it looks to me, and to a lot of people, that we might see a situation where the APC might go into the National Convention at the Eagle Square with a consensus candidate. The bigger question here is how the party or the president will be able to convince everyone, including those who sat with him on the table and cooked the food of the APC, and to tell them, step down. And those who have said, how will he look in them in the eye and tell them to step down? How that will happen is a bigger question.
Well, first of all, the president never said he's going to ask anyone to step down. He didn't say that. But then, you know, concession is part of, whether somebody will concede. So consensus is part of the process agreed, by the government of this country. I mean, like, it's the law. Now that it's part of the options that the parties can use. So if APC, in the wisdom of the leaders, agree on a consensus, and remember, there is not going to be, nobody will be forced. Consensus will mean the person writing that I have conceded to so-so person. So whether the president will look at anybody in the eye to tell him to step down, it will be left for the person, whoever the person is, to agree or not to agree with the president. So whether the president is a super delegate or not the super delegate, that's your opinion. But I assure you, he's a Democrat. He's not going to impose anybody. That I assure you, Mr. President will not impose any of those candidates, any of the aspirants. But of course,
what gives you the confidence that he will not?
Yeah, because I know so. I know so. He will not.
What gives you the confidence?
Because I know him. He will not do that. Because
where do you think the body language of the president is swinging towards?
Well, the body language of the president is a Nigerian candidate for us, for the APC.
Are there Ghanaian candidates in all of the aspirants?
No. There are none. But what I'm saying, a Nigerian, which means an acceptable candidate for Nigerians across party lines. Because there are persons within the 23 of them that are there that if you pick will probably be both candidate for APC and the PDP. Yeah, so that's exactly what he's talking about.
So, and for your party, one thing is also very important. And Atiku Abubakar, who is no stranger to the APC, he ran against President Buhari. He ran not only the primary in the general election in 2019, he ran against President Buhari in the primaries in 2014 in Lagos. And he's not a stranger. He understands the internal workings of the APC. He understands the politics of Nigeria. He's been in the game for a long time. It does throw up something, that the game is no longer going to be the same. The trick your party used the last time, you might have to rejig it to be able to defeat an Atiku Abubakar. Does an Atiku Abubakar candidacy upset anything in your party?
No. First of all, Atiku Abubakar is not somebody that you can ignore. It's not, he's somebody, it's a person that, yes, we need to look at it critically. Who among our aspirants can beat Atiku Abubakar? Because we know him, we know what his antics are, we know what he can do and what he cannot do. So we are going to look at someone who can beat Atiku Abubakar. That's exactly. Whether he has thrown the spanner into our calculation, now that's for us to discuss, not on national TV.
But does he throw some jitter into your party?
Not jitter, definitely not jitter. No. You said it. We know him very well. He knows us very well. So we know what to do to defeat Atiku Abubakar at the polls.
So I just give this,
whoever the candidate of the party is.
And I give this analogy. If someone who has lived in a house is asked to go rob the house, he definitely knows where the trap door is, he definitely knows where the back door is, then if you hear that such a person is the one robbing, or even a former banker robbing a certain bank, you know there is trouble. As against a stranger who is fighting such a person. So the question is whether or not, if you want to show it publicly, that's another thing. Whether or not Atiku Abubakar gives you a form of headache or throw up some butterflies in your tummy when you hear the name in the APC. But certainly, you must go back to the drawing table, is it?
Well, Atiku Abubakar is no pushover. Certainly, he's not a candidate that you can say ignore him. No, we're not going to ignore him. But we cannot ignore anybody in the PDP. So, an Atiku Abubakar, certainly it's something that we need to look at. Who amongst our aspirants can beat Atiku Abubakar?
How many of those do you have?
In the party?
Do you have up to 5 people that can beat Atiku?
More than that. More than 5, definitely.
Can you mention names? Those who can beat?
More than that.
Tinubu, can he beat?
Well, Amechi can. Of course, Bola Tinubu. Emeka Nwajuba.
Can Osinbajo beat him?
Oh, yes. Osinbajo, of course, the vice president, and so many of them. Honestly, in fact, probably there are not more than 2, 3 that can probably be a walkover for Atiku Abubakar, but majority of the members of our aspirants will beat Atiku Abubakar. And look, we are also the ruling party. We're not going to sit by and allow just things to go like that. We will do our homework to ensure that, look, things are done properly, that Nigerians will vote for APC because of what we have done.
Is Atiku Abubakar making your party look north?
Well, some leaders of the party are looking at that. Yes, that's the truth. But the president, who is the leader of the party, is looking for a Nigerian candidate. I am one of those that is looking for a Nigerian candidate. I have no sentiment for north or south. I'm looking for a candidate that can beat Atiku Abubakar at the polls, wherever he might be from. And I'm sure our party is going to do the right thing.
So let me read again the portion where the president made it very clear about his wish. And he's soliciting the help of the party. He says, quote, in keeping with the established internal policies of the party and as we approach the convention in a few days, therefore I wish to solicit the reciprocity and support of the governors and other stakeholders in picking my successor That's the words. Those are the words of the president, who would fly the flag of our party for election into the office of the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2023. This will cause some shock waves, and this kind of scenario had caused some destabilizing issues within the party. We've seen it happen, that when this kind of factor comes to play, people get angry and they want to pull down the roof on the house. Well, As your party envisage this kind of scenario?
No, absolutely. First of all, you're not a member of APC. You just said it earlier while talking to Lamido. You are apolitical, so you don't know what's happening in my party. I assure you, the president made his speech, and of course, we are looking at the speech, and we're talking, we're meeting, consultations are ongoing, consensus is also a probability, but if consensus are not met before the time, we'll go to the polls, and whoever wins will be declared the winner. So, I mean, I don't know why this is the second time you're reading this portion, reciprocity. Of course, the president means that, look, by him allowing, not interfering in any state to bring a candidate of his, like President Buhari to say, I want X in so-so state. So he wants that reciprocal gesture that the governors should ensure that nobody interferes, including him, in where the candidate comes from or who the candidate of the party is. That's exactly what he means.
No, I don't think that is exactly what he meant.
Well,
because he said, allow me to be able to pick my successor.
No, he didn't say that.
No, that's what he said.
No, he didn't say allow me pick.
Let's look at it very well.
Did he say allow me pick?
No, can I read it, Honorable, again? He said, I wish to solicit the reciprocity and support of the governors and other stakeholders in picking my successor. It's very clear. The language is very clear.
Well, it's subjective. Honestly, this is subjective. And I assure you.
Let's look at it objectively.
Yeah,
let's look at it objectively for what he said.
I assure you.
I'm soliciting your help. This is what the president said.
I assure you, Mr. President shall not handpick anybody. No, it will certainly be through consensus. Even if he has, as a human being, he has somebody in mind.
He has always said it.
No, I said he must have somebody in mind.
No, he said it. Exactly. Not like he.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
Said it.
Yes, but that person he has in mind, he didn't say that person till now because consultations are ongoing. And that does not mean, whoever he has in mind, does not mean that person will be the accepted candidate of the party. He could have his candidate of choice, but then the majority of the party, the leadership, will decide whether that his choice is going in tandem with the wishes of an aspiration of majority of the party. And I'm telling you, he will drop his candidate, whoever he is, whoever his candidate.
Is it possible to be of the former CPC bloc? That's your own bloc.
No. It certainly cannot. That I can tell you. Take it to the bank. It can never be anywhere from the CPC bloc. Certainly.
So we should rule that out.
Rule CPC bloc from it because he is from the CPC bloc. He's already done his tenure. Certainly none of us. I would have probably bought the ticket to contest for the presidency because I know it's beyond our reach. Certainly not CPC bloc from whichever part of the country.
Okay. Well, on a final note, the bigger picture is this: Nigeria, and what this race and this game means for the average Nigerian. Some of them who may not even be able to afford 3 square meals, probably struggling to get 1 meal per day and get going and get money into their pocket and food on their table. The question is how, whether or not your party has done enough to meet the aspirations of Nigerians and some of the promises your party has made. You're one of those who told Nigerians and sold APC to Nigerians. The last word that I would like from you is whether you can look Nigerians in the eye tonight and tell them that vote APC again, and whether that is justified.
It is certainly justified. Whether we have challenges, yes. Whether we had challenges, yes. Whether there are certain things that we didn't know of and now they are cropping up, yes. So, yes, vote for APC because, look, this is our government. Whatever you will say of it, we've come out clean to fight the corruption, fighting members of our party, to ensure that, look, there is probity in governance. So we're doing our best, and I'm sure Nigerians will believe us in what we have done and what we are doing for the next 1 year. So APC will come back as the ruling party of the country.
After the primary, I'd like to have you back.
Certainly.
To discuss it. Because I know you have an idea of the president's choice. You're very close to him.
Yes, I do have.
Thank you so much for coming tonight.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.